I'm giving you this background for our friends in the news media because twice recently Governor Romney has made fun of me for having bold ideas in space and has suggested that, you know, the idea of a permanent lunar colony. He actually didn't catch the weirdest thing I've ever done. I'm going to tell you all, because sooner or later his researchers will find it. At one point early in my career, I introduced the Northwest Ordinance for space. And I said when we got, I think the number is 13,000. When we have 13,000 Americans living on the moon, they can petition to become a state. And here's the difference between romantics and so-called practical people. I wanted every young American to say to themselves, I could be one of those 13,000. I could be a pioneer. I need to study science and math and engineering. I need to learn how to be a technician. I can be part of building a bigger, better future. I can actually go out and live the future looking at the solar system and being part of a generation of courageous people who do something big and bold and heroic. And I will, as president, encourage the introduction of the Northwest Ordinance for Space to put a marker down that we want Americans to think boldly about the future, and we want Americans to go out and study hard and work hard, and together we're going to unleash the American people to rebuild the country we love. So, I'm going to give you a set of goals, and then I'm going to make a set of observations about how to achieve those goals. By the end of my second term, we will have the first permanent base on the moon, and it will be American. We will have commercial, near-Earth activities that include science, tourism, and manufacturing, and are designed to create a robust industry precisely on the model of the development of the airlines in the 1930s, because it is in our interest to acquire so much experience in space that we clearly have a capacity that the Chinese and the Russians will never come anywhere close to matching. And by the end of 2020, we will have the first continuous propulsion system in space capable of getting to Mars in a remarkably short time, because I am sick of being told we have to be timid, and I'm sick of being told we have to be limited to technologies that are 50 years old. And candidly, if we truly inspire the entrepreneurial spirits of America, we may get some of this stuff a lot faster. Now, I'm going to make some modest observations and some big observations. Modest observation number one. We should be practical about using equipment. That is, for example, the Atlas V ought to be interchangeable and ought to be as usable for NASA projects as it is for Air Force projects. We should get in the habit of absorbing small units of space. You know, it's very difficult right now to get the bureaucracy to think about the fact somebody's about to launch a commercial launch, and it actually has an extra little space for 40 pounds. But that doesn't fit either the NASA or the military model. When we fly troops around, we normally fly them on commercial airliners with other people. So we're used to the idea that you can share space. You know, you can send things that don't have to be a military-only aircraft or a NASA-only aircraft. I suspect even the NASA administrators actually fly on commercial planes with other people. So I want to know if we break down all the bureaucratic barriers and we go to what I'm going to call a common sense model. If it's cheaper, faster, and it works, do it. Second, we need to learn how to do 5 or 8 launches a day, not 1. We need to get in a habit of saying, you know, this is going to be like an airport. We're going to be so busy. I mean, if we're going to get to the moon permanently and we're going to start getting to Mars and we're going to build this near-Earth capability and do it all within 8 years, we better start thinking more like airports than like space systems. And we better start figuring out, okay, so how are we going to manage this many things? It's not that we can't do it, it's just that we don't push ourselves, we don't think about it, we don't design the systems for it. But I want constant activity. I want something, and there's a reason. The World War II generation built tons of airplanes, so the designers that came out of World War II had made lots of mistakes. And they learned from them. If you're a military aircraft designer today, you're lucky if you work on more than 1 airplane in your lifetime. That's how slow and cumbersome and bureaucratic we are. You don't have any learning curve. I want us to have so much constant, energetic, excited activities that people are learning again. And that we're drawing the best talent in the country right back to the Space Coast because it's exciting and it's dynamic. And who knows what next week is going to be like. And does that mean I'm a visionary? You betcha. You know, I was attacked the other night for being grandiose. I just want you to know, Lincoln standing at Council Bluffs was grandiose. The Wright brothers going down to Kitty Hawk was grandiose. John F. Kennedy standing there saying we'll get to the moon in 8 years was grandiose. I accept the charge that I am an American, and Americans are instinctively grandiose because we believe in a bigger future.